Hi everyone, welcome back to Vedic Life Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the Saturn Direct video 2024. Saturn is going to go direct on the 16th of November. We're going to have another 4.5 months of Saturn in Aquarius before, of course, Saturn makes that huge transition into Pisces. I can't wait to make that video. I haven't started making that just yet because it's a big one. I have to really think about every single sign. But what I thought is I would cover Saturn going direct because one of you mentioned in the comments of last time's video, hey, why don't you take a look at Saturn direct? I thought, sure, I will absolutely do that. And I wouldn't do that just in a monthly video because in a monthly, we're looking at just the duration of a month. You know, that's why I tend to look more at the faster moving planets. I look at the Sun, Venus, Mercury. That's where we get the new news. Of course, if Mars is moving into a new sign, then that can be appropriate for a monthly. Sometimes there's a bit of Jupiter or Saturn in there, even a bit of Rahu Ketu axis in a monthly because, of course, with the duration of the month, you know, it might be relevant, but Saturn Direct, this makes a great standalone video. And of course, I will be making a Saturn in Pisces video 2025. That is going to be huge and I'm really excited and looking forward to that. If you are having a private consultation with me, I usually cover this big Saturnian movements. And so for some of you, you already know my thoughts on Saturn moving into Pisces for your sign. Another comment that was there, I think in last time's video was, you know, would I take a look at that transition of Saturn moving in to Pisces, because I think we've got quite a traffic jam there at that time. We've got a couple of retrograde planets. Let me just have a look. I'll bring up a transit wheel and have a little look. I think it's sort of March, April time, isn't it? Yeah, that does look pretty full on. I will talk about my thoughts for 2025 in a standalone video. Hopefully I get time to do that. I'm so busy these days with Patreon and with client readings, guys. So that's why I'm not doing quite as many videos here on YouTube, but I'm going to try and steal some time away and make some of these videos because they're so important, especially with the big movements that we've got coming up. And next year is such a big year. I've been talking about that. It's a number 9 year. It's a Mars year. There's going to be energy. There's going to be endings. There's going to be all kinds of things going on. So we really want to stay on top of the transits. It's very important. So stick with me. We will cover all these things in detail. And let's see, what else did I want to say? I just wanted to say that I'm recording this on the 4th of November. Good luck, America. Good luck, United States of America. I talked about the election there on the October episode. You can have a look at that. There's jump links. You can just jump into it. And if you have a look at the November episode, that's where I brought up your comments and I shared what you guys had to say. And I just want to thank my audience so much for being just the most wonderful audience in the entire world. I know that we have a very tiny little community here on YouTube. It's very, very small, but we did so well. There were no negative comments and there was just constructive and interesting conversation about politics in the comments below. And you know, some of you have met the candidates and things like that, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing to hear what you guys have to say, and I want to thank you for being the best audience in the world. I never delete comments ever, and I leave them all on there, you know, whatever they are, and I don't moderate there because I believe in freedom of speech. I want freedom of speech. That's really important to me. But as a group, we did brilliantly. We are, you know, high vibe, and anyone who tunes into this channel, you're a great role model for your community. And I know that you're going to be someone who helps keep the peace, or if things get crazy out there. But yeah, I mean, let's have a look. What's Mars doing? I mean, I did talk about this. I did say that, you know, Mars is not in the best shape. Let's have a look. Where are we? November 2024. Yeah, Mars is debilitated right now. You know, Mars is not a warring Mars. And I'll talk about this in the next monthly, but I did see a news article. It was something that Jimmy Dore brought up on his channel actually, and it was about the fact that Israeli soldiers have lost motivation, they don't want to fight, and this is being reported by CNN. So you can imagine, I mean, we've got that kind of a Mars in the sky here. It's a deflated Mars. It's a sort of lethargic sort of a Mars. If this was Mars in Capricorn, oh no, that would not be good at this time. That would be really bad. So, you know, in some ways I think we're kind of lucky with some of the star placements that we have at the moment. One of you also mentioned in the comments last time, would you talk about what's happening in Ireland? Yes, I would. And I'll do that in the next monthly. So I'm going to try and find an Irish chart or look into that situation and see what's going on and see what I can share there. But on the American election, we spoke for probably an hour if you total it all. And it was great. Everyone was just kind to each other and high vibe. Good. I was so happy. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Because yeah, I do want to talk about things that are really important in the world, and that is a really important thing. So thank you. Thank you for being the audience that you are. It really makes a huge difference. All right, let's talk about Saturn Direct 2024. As I mentioned, Saturn's going to go direct 16th November. It's going to spend another 4.5 months in Aquarius. Okay, so we've got more of Saturn in Aquarius energy. If I think back to when I did my Saturn Outlook video, I would have talked about the fact that the spotlight will be on the people and that people are going to protest, people are going to stand up, people are going to say no, enough is enough. And do you know what? I think people have done that. I really do think they have. There have been a lot of protests. There have been a lot of protests here in London, people saying we don't want any more genocide in the world, please stop any killing. You know, there's been a lot of protests. I think people have done a lot, and because it's hard, you know, I think about it when I have a weekend come up, do I have spare time or spare money to go into town and do these things? Do I have spare energy? I don't have time or energy, or I'm usually just exhausted. So I think the people have done what they can, and I think the people have done a good job. We still have Pluto in Capricorn, and I think we're going to have, you know, the breakdown of corruption in top leadership, the breakdown of top-down structures that aren't working for everyone and things like that. There's a lot of justice that needs to happen on the planet, and this is continuing. Now, Pluto in sidereal Vedic astrology will be in Capricorn until about, now if I've got this right, it's 2039. Let me click up and have a look. 2039, yep, just about. So, you know, there's a lot of long-term change that is going to take place on the planet, and it is to do with leadership. It's to do with, you know, the elites, whoever considers themselves the elites, they are being changed and transformed at this time, big time. If you're anyone who's watching my channel, you don't have to worry. You know, we don't have to worry here. That's a good thing. Let's have a look here. So Saturn enters Purva Bhadrapada for the first time on the 28th of December. Purva Bhadrapada is lorded by Jupiter. And so this is the perfect introduction to Saturn being lorded by Jupiter again. You know, this is nice. This is good energy. I'll talk about this in the Saturn in... Well, will I talk about this Saturn in... when Saturn goes into Pisces? I may not. Because it'll be there at that crossover time. And anyway, what I'm saying here... Oh, let's go back to... Let's do some time travel, go back to 2024. Let's have a look. I'm just going to click into Saturn, into Pisces there, are we? Yes, we're in Purva Bhadrapada, and then it'll be, yeah, Purva Bhadrapada. There too in Pisces. I will talk about it in that video there. But basically, we're going to have some more of that Saturn being lorded by Jupiter again. And if we cast our memories back, the last time we had Saturn being lorded by Jupiter, they're in Sagittarius. Those were the years 2017, 2018, 2019. And I remember, because I've been doing this channel for that long and I've been making notes, I'm actually going to go back to my notes and have a read of what was happening at that time in the news. But from what I remember from memory, I mean, we had the Me Too movement. And we had a lot of things about rights, people's rights, individual rights, justice. It's going to be more of that kind of thing. But I will share my thoughts when I do the Saturn in Pisces video. I've got here, since 2020, we've had Saturn lording his own two signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. Together with Pluto, Saturn has been cleaning his two houses. Pluto's still in Capricorn, but Saturn has cleaned two houses just about completely. That's pretty good going. Saturn has been trying to root out corruption in top leadership wherever possible. And we are seeing the breakdown of things. And where is the breakdown? It's at the top. You know, the breakdown and the corruption, it's being transformed at the top. And what the world considers to be elite. Okay, not what we would consider to be elite, but what the world considers to be elite. So, I mean, the world as well, as just an external thing, has been getting the treatment from both Pluto and Saturn. And that's why, if you're on the spiritual path, you'll be quite largely untouched by any of this. You know, it'll be something you'll be able to watch and learn from and see, but you won't be so involved, which is a good thing. All right, so we are going to get into this hasn't taken too long, that's good. My intro is not too long today. We're going to take a look at every sign, and how I'm going to do it is we're going to have a look at where Saturn has been since 2020. We're going to take a look at what we are saying goodbye to, okay? And then you got another 4.5 months of this energy, so let's see how to make the most of the remainder of this transit. Because some of you are in a great transit and you don't want to, this is going to be the last time you're going to have a good transit, a good Saturn transit like this for some time. And by some time, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, for some of you at least sort of 5 years type thing. So for those of you, there are 3 signs that are in a good Saturn transit. You don't want to miss, and while I'm editing, what I might do is I might just put the 3 signs above my shoulder. You'll be able to see what those are. But there are 3 signs where you want to make the most of the rest of this transit, okay? Really, really important, because you're not going to get another great Saturn transit for a little while. Yeah, but wait for my Saturn in Pisces video. There will be many Saturn in Pisces videos, of course, watch them all, but I will cover and tell you my take on that. I don't know when I'll get that done exactly, but I'm sure I will get that done. All right, well, we are also going to bring these up on the, just plug in my MacBook as well while I'm here. Make sure this doesn't power down. There we go. All right, we're going to have a look. Aries, welcome. So this is Aries ascendant, Aries moon, or Aries sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So I'm having a look at your diagram here. I've got it up on the iPad. And what do we have? So we've got, now since 2020, Saturn has been in your 10th and 11th houses. Saturn is going to go direct, of course, on the 16th. Saturn has been restructuring your career, your purpose, how you are seen by others. Saturn has been expanding your ability to be rewarded. Oh, Aries, you are one of the lucky signs where Saturn is in a great position for you right now. You want to make the most of the next 4.5 months. Okay, if you have plans, expansion plans, if you want to grow, if you want to start a social media platform, if you want to start a business, whatever you want to start or do, you've got great energy now. So get things happening now. See what you can achieve and get done in the next 4.5 months. You have the energy. So definitely, try and make the most of what you have left. Now I've got the heading here, what are you saying goodbye to? Okay, so across this next 4.5 months, Saturn is in this place, but then Saturn's going to change quite a bit come about March, April next year. So you're saying goodbye to, Saturn being in the 11th house in Aquarius. I've got here, you're saying goodbye to this powerhouse planet, improving your life and gifting you things that are meant to take you up in life. Okay, you're going to be saying goodbye to some good expansion energy. Now you might be listening to this and going, looking back at your last 2 years or so and going, I haven't had much expansion at all. That's okay, because it's not like there will be no expansion in the future. No, there will be. But this is just from a Saturn point of view. Okay, so, and also, if it's your personal chart, I'd want to see what natal planets are there. I'd want to look at your Jupiter. I'd want to look at your Rahu Ketu axis. Also your age plays into it, because you might be going through a maturation year and things like that. So this is not the only factor, but I can't stress it enough. You've got a very good energy here. Try to make the most of it. Doesn't matter if you feel that Saturn hasn't delivered much to you over the last couple of years. But if you look back and if you really look and see, okay, what has improved, you will see some improvements. And if they're not external, they'll at least be internal. Okay? In some ways, things are better for you. It will be. You'll have to look for it, maybe. You've also got to look for your own free will, and have you made the most of the time? Because there is such a thing as declining life. Okay, so that exists too. And one must look at all these things critically. All right, so now how to make the most of this transit now. So with the time that you have left, I've got here, say yes to opportunities, grow your business, grow your platforms as best as you can, because come 2025, so we're looking at sort of March, April 2025, Sadhisati will begin, and that's a big process of Saturn gearing up to go over your moon. Now that can be a very profitable time. It's not all doom and gloom, Sadhisati. Yes, it has its challenges, but it's there to polish you, it's there to grow you. It's an amazing period of time. So yeah, but we'll talk about that more in the next Saturn video. But Aries, enjoy this time. Enjoy the next 4.5 months the best you can. All right, we are now going to welcome Taurus. Taurus, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Moon, or Taurus Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So where has Saturn been since 2020? Okay, you've had Saturn cleaning up his own 2 houses, which is the 9th house and the 10th house. And we've got Saturn in your 10th at the moment, getting ready to go direct into Pisces. So Saturn has been restructuring your authority. He's been upping your responsibilities, quite possibly, and he has been whipping your career into shape. Taurus, it's been tough. I remember some of your comments, Taurus, from last time's monthly, and some of you have really been going through it. Any Taurus moon people here, you've been going through that long stretch where Saturn has not rewarded you for a very long time. This is about to change. Okay, you are coming into a better time. I'm so happy to announce that to you, Taurus, because I know it's been hard for you. It's been quite difficult. You've had to be disciplined. You've had to just keep going. You've had to wonder, what is all this for? What am I doing? Hang in there. I really want you to hang in there. It's going to change. It's going to get good. That is what astrology has taught me. Astrology has taught me that, you know, it's like the tunnel. It's like that person is doing the tunnel and then they quit, but then in the picture, in the photo or whatever, you see, oh, there's a pot of gold just there. If they'd have just kept going a little bit, you know, and it's like, but we don't know where that pot of gold is. It's very difficult. Well, astrology gives us some visibility, and I can tell you that when your time changes, yes, you are due a good time. I'm just looking at my diagram. I can see it right here. I'm like, no, the pot of gold is right there. It really is. You've just got to keep going. It's going to come good. And astrology has taught me that. Astrology has taught me, keep going, keep going. Now, what are you saying goodbye to with this transit? Okay, now this is quite good actually. You're going to say goodbye to some good things here. So I've got here, if you felt career has been stalled, this is going to end. Good. There might be challenges or delays at home. There could also be tough times in your relationship as well. You've kind of been getting it on all fronts, actually, Taurus. This is the last 2.5 years at least. I've got here, this has been a very tough transit for Taurus. I've got here, soon it'll end and you'll have one of the best transits coming. And I've got in brackets, if not the best. Yeah. This is good. I'm telling you, what is coming is good. You just got to hang in there. It's not long to go. And the other thing is, if you are still and peaceful and you feel for it, you will feel that future energy now. You will. You have to be still to feel it though. So you might want to up your meditation time. You might want to start some meditation time. Okay, so maybe like 10 minutes, even just 10 minutes. Sometimes if that's all you can manage, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, it's enough. It's enough. Now I've got here how to make the most of this transit now. I've got here, use this time to refine your daily habits. Work consistently, conscientiously. And I've got here, you just have to hang in there for another 4 months, 4.5 months, and then your reward time will begin. Saturn will be able to actively help you rather than to delay you or to seemingly hinder you. Another thing about Saturn is when I look at the delays that have been in my life, and when I look at the things that I wanted and worked hard for but didn't get, I actually, when I look back on hindsight, I think, wow, thank God I didn't get those things. You know, there's been such wisdom in the delays in my life. There's been such, you know, the universe knows it better than I do. Yeah, universal intelligence is way more superior to whatever little intelligence I've cobbled over the course of my life. You know, I look at, yeah, how the universe has helped me. I've seen that it has helped me rather than hinder me. I've looked for it and I've found that, yeah, no, I've been helped. So see if you can look for where it's been a good, sometimes you need several years distance in order to see that. So that's another thing, you might not be able to see now what you're being saved from. But just know there's a wisdom in delays or blockages, or even you not getting something. Okay, right, let's take a look. Taurus, I'm wishing you all the best. We are now going to welcome Gemini. Gemini, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Gemini Ascendant, Gemini Moon, or Gemini Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So now since 2020, you've had Saturn transiting through your 8th and 9th houses. That's where Saturn has been. Saturn's really been working behind the scenes for you, restructuring some of the hidden aspects of your life. So some of this stuff is not obvious. Some of this stuff will only be known by you. Okay, you will know what Saturn has worked through. Some of this will be, if you're very much on your spiritual path, this is internal work. And Saturn might have blocked you off from the world, hoping that you would go within. Okay, so if you've gone within and you've done some inner work, or spent some time being and reflecting and doing all that abstract stuff that people think is a waste of time. If you've been doing some of that, good, that's what you need to do. Now I've got here how you feel, your position in the family, and your capacity to handle more responsibility have all been reshaped. Okay, there's a lot that has been reshaped. And maybe if you sit and reflect on this and think about it, you'll be able to join some of these dots and see, oh yeah, that has been what Saturn has been doing. Some things have been restructured for you, and you'll be able to know what those are on reflection. Now, what are you saying goodbye to? Saturn is about to leave his own 2 houses. Okay, he ain't coming back here for, I mean, how many years? So what is 30 minus 5? We're looking at about 25 years. So he's cleaned up house. He's done a lot of work in a place where he likes to be as well. So I've got here, but when he leaves, for you specifically, what are you saying goodbye to? I've got here, if you've felt unseen for the past few years, you'll probably be saying goodbye to that. Okay, Saturn's going to be in the 10th. You're going to be seen. It's going to be showtime in some regard. It's like, or you'll have more responsibility, or you'll be doing more, or the world will need you more. You'll need to go out more. You'll need to engage with the world more. Something along these lines. It's like you won't be able to hide under a rock anymore, if you have been, right? That might be some carryover from 2020 to 2023, if that has been carried over. Now, how to make the most of this transit now? I've got here, skill up in any areas that will help you excel in your career. Let's have a look here. Skill up in any areas that will help you excel in your career. Sorry, I just got distracted because I was thinking, oh no, what if I've got a program open that might corrupt my audio file? I had a bit of corruption. No, my audio file is working just fine. Thank God, because I recorded a video, this was last week for Patreon. The whole audio didn't work out. It was terrible. So I just had a moment of paranoia. Just thank you, Gemini, for giving me space for this. Apologies that I have gone off track. Maybe that's what some of you are saying goodbye to. Maybe some of you have been going off track, or have you been procrastinating? Maybe. Let's have a look here. How to make the most of the rest of this transit. You got 4.5 months left. How are you going to make the most of it? Yeah, look, skill up in areas that will help you excel in your career. This could be taking up executive education, taking up a course, finding a guru, meeting a mentor, working with somebody. It's like, are you able to learn or draw something from a higher authority or a higher source, or it's something about drawing from a higher authority or a higher source? You have good time left to continue doing that for the next 4.5 months. I've got here, stay humble, work diligently. Your time to shine and to go up is coming. It's gradual, keep chipping away, but when Saturn steps into that 10th house for you, from there you've got about 5 years of upward, good, solid, you can really progress career-wise and achieve a lot. So, you might also want to use this next 4.5 months to not work too hard. You might want to look at this in that way as well, Gemini. It cut out just at the right moment. Gemini, I was just wrapping up. You're going to have a good rest of the transit, and you're going to have a good one in the next one. But then you're going to have a really good one, Saturn in Aries. Oh, that's going to be great. So you're in a phase where you're leading up to excellence and the time of your life. Okay, it's very much on the horizon for you. All right, Gemini, thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome Cancer. Cancer, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Cancer Ascendant, Cancer Moon, or Cancer Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So since 2020, you've had Saturn in his own 2 houses in the 7th and 8th houses for you. So Saturn has been restructuring your marriage, your relationships, your family, and life with your in-laws. Basically, yeah, there's a lot of, another way that we could look at this is Saturn has been restructuring whatever it is that you are committed to. Okay, so maybe you're very committed to your business, you're a self-employed person, or maybe you're an author and you're very committed to your art or your craft. Saturn has been restructuring things regarding your commitments, okay, your big life commitments. And of course, definitely family, definitely life with in-laws. I've got here, Saturn has been transforming life in deep and possibly behind the scenes ways, especially over the last couple of years, so since the start of 2023. Now, what you're saying goodbye to, okay, because there's going to be a big shift. When Saturn goes into Pisces, it's going to be a very different energy for you. So you're going to say goodbye to some nice things here. You're going to say goodbye to feeling stalled. If you've felt stalled, if you've felt like, oh, I try something and it just, I'm not getting the momentum, I'm not getting the movement, this is going nowhere. You know, it's like, I think you're going to get some movement when Saturn steps into Pisces for you. I think things will pick up. I've got here, you'll also be saying goodbye to feeling stalled, especially in love life or family life as well. Maybe you're feeling delayed due to other people. Okay, so hopefully Saturn moving to Pisces is going to shift that for you. And I've also got the note here, if you've had delays or setbacks, Saturn might be able to catch you up in the next transit. This is another thing that you can also have happen around eclipses, especially around solar eclipses, where the sun is up there on the Rahu side. Saturn, well, if Saturn's involved, but just the eclipse itself sometimes can jump you forward. There are things in astrology where people do get jumped forward. And of course, like a Neech Bang Raj yoga, and it depends on a lot of things. So there's lots of things we could look at. But you could be, Saturn can catch you up kind of thing. That's why people shouldn't worry if they're feeling behind, because you can always catch up later. I've got here how to make the most of the rest of this transit now, the transit that you are in. I've got here, increase your discipline around meditation, if you can, or good health practices. I've got here, get strong, get physically strong. It's good if you can exercise or work on your health. And I've got here, get good at nourishing yourself. Cook well, sleep well, eat well. In the next Saturn transit, more will be demanded of you, and you will want those good, healthy, nourishing habits. You want those to be in there and just automatic. Okay, it's something that you don't need to think of. That's how you live, kind of thing. So Cancer, that's what I've got for you. I'm wishing you well. We are now going to welcome Leo. Leo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Leo Ascendant, Leo Moon, or Leo Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So Saturn has been in your 6th and 7th houses since 2020. He's been cleaning up his own 2 houses. So how has this gone for you? Well, if we look back, Saturn has been restructuring your business. If you are self-employed, Saturn has possibly made you self-employed. That is another possibility there. Or Saturn has been restructuring your career or your life in connection with career or service or charity work or volunteer work or any of that. I've got here, Saturn has also been restructuring your marriage or your love life. Saturn has been restructuring your capacity to handle the energy of other people. So you might have noticed that, this could be that Saturn has cut people out, or, has brought people in, or Saturn has brought difficult people in to test you, or, there's lots of things here. So, it's been full on, probably. Now, when Saturn moves into Pisces, what are you saying goodbye to? Well, I've got here, if it's been hard to meet that special someone, then that blockage is likely to shift when Saturn moves. Okay, so that's a good thing. Maybe, you know, or instead of being brought karmic partners, you'll be brought, you know, someone that you really connect with. Now, how to make the most of the rest of this transit now? I've got here, it's a good time to get organized, get as organized as possible. Life is going to change for you in the next transit. So enjoy the stability you have achieved now. If you have achieved some level of stability now, which, by the way, I mean, you should have. Really, when we're looking at from 2020 to 2023, that was a very good Saturn transit for you. So if you look back to that time, what stability was created at that time? Was there a new platform up? Maybe you got a promotion, maybe you got a new job, maybe something good happened from 2020 to 2023. I know those were the pandemic years, and so that time globally may not have been able to yield as much to you, but I have consulted people from 2020 to 2023, and they were, oh my gosh, people were getting married, getting promotions, earning money, growing, this, that. I mean, it was amazing. So when you're due something, you're not going to miss it, even if there's a pandemic going on or something like that. So that's something, yeah, I've discovered through doing lots of readings. Anyway, Leo, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Virgo. Virgo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Virgo Ascendant, Virgo Moon, or Virgo Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. I'm just checking on the time. We're okay. The sun is setting out there. It's very nice. Virgo, what's been going on? So you've had Saturn in your 5th and 6th houses, cleaning up house since 2020. Okay, so Saturn has been restructuring your love life, your marriage, your creativity, how you relate to your children and or your career. Also your investments possibly as well have been being restructured, or, you know, that type of thing. So quite a lot of areas Saturn has been testing, working through, and so where Saturn passes through, it can be interesting. You can be tested. You can, what else can happen? Yeah, you can be tested, you can be delayed in those areas. Things can be blocked sometimes. It can manifest in different ways. Where Saturn is for you currently is actually really brilliant. Saturn is in your 6th house, and that's from 2023, Jan-Feb 2023, goes till about March 2025. So you are currently in a very, very good Saturn transit. So what you're potentially saying goodbye to, you're potentially saying goodbye to what is a very good transit. Let's have a think and a look here. How to make the most of this transit now. Yeah, you need to make the most of the rest of this. This is 4.5 months that you have with Saturn 6th from. So this is a platform building time for you. And I've got here, how to make the most of this transit now is say yes to opportunities, create, be creative. You can hustle, you can achieve more yet. You can make it happen. You can put in effort. I've got here, Saturn wants to gift you. So be disciplined and work hard. The energy will shift next year. It will shift. But you are one of the lucky signs, Virgo. You really are. You're one of the lucky 3 signs where you're currently in a good Saturn transit, and you're going to want to make the most of the rest of this transit, which lasts for another 4.5 months, thereabouts. All right, well, Virgo, make the most of it. Make the most of it. Thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome Libra. Libra, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Libra Ascendant, Libra Moon, or Libra Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So where has Saturn been since 2020? Well, for you, he's been in your 4th and 5th houses. Saturn has been restructuring your home life, relationship with mother, relationship with your children. Perhaps when it comes to your physical space where you live, maybe you've had to move. Maybe you've had renovation work done at your place. There's something about your home, or even could be to your car or your possessions or things like that. But there's been some restructuring going on. And there has been some impact on your career as well, possibly some impact on investments, if you have that kind of thing. So quite a lot. Saturn has been doing a lot for you lately. Now, when Saturn moves into Pisces, before he moves, let's take a look at what you're going to say goodbye to. You know, when he leaves, basically he's been in his own two houses. He will have been in his own two houses for 5 years by the time it's March, April 2025, when this shift happens. So what you're saying goodbye to when Saturn moves is you're going to say goodbye to stress relating specifically to your home life. So I've got here, your heart has been tested a lot over the last few years, and you will get time for your heart to rest. Okay, I think that's quite lovely. I think, you know, if you've been going through it, if things have been hard, tough emotionally, and to do with heart, love, your significant relationships, is something where, yeah, you're possibly being tested emotionally. And I want to say that you're not only going to get a rest from that, but I think you're going to get some rewards come in, okay, in your next transit. I'll cover that in the next video I do on this topic. Look out for it. I'll be wearing a blue top. I'm wearing black for this one because I was like, I wanted to save the dark blue for the big video. Right, so now how to make the most of the current transit that you're in now. You've got 4.5 months left of the transit that you're in now. So I've got here, bring discipline into some creative activity or creative art that you do, but be disciplined about it, and make sure you spend some time being creative or having fun. Isn't that interesting? Bring discipline into your fun. No, but okay, here's the thing. What this means is be disciplined with your daily structure in such a way that you make sure, I am going to have fun. So structure your days so that you have Friday afternoon off. Or if you can't have Friday afternoon off, that you have Friday evening off, or that you have Sunday morning off, or whatever it is, wherever in the week, can you block off some time that's just for you to have fun, or to be creative, or to play, or to be childlike. So that's what I mean by have discipline. It's like being disciplined. Like fun is mandatory, you know, it's like something like this. But it's like it's important for you, because otherwise what are you working for? If you don't have fun, if you don't have a good time now and then, if you don't play now and then, what's it all for? You have to enjoy life. So that's what I'm really saying. I really want you to have some fun. I've got here, you can take this new creativity or passion with you into the next transit, where you might actually be able to profit from what you set up now. Now, whatever you're going to do, don't do it with a view to, oh, I want to turn this into a business, because no, that turns it into work. Genuinely have fun. But like equally, there's something about being in that fun mode that's going to free you up, and then some idea will occur or something's going to happen, and then this amazing thing is going to start in the next transit. The other thing I also wanted to tell you, Libra, is that this great energy that you're going to have in the next transit, which I will talk about in another breakout video, you might be able to start feeling it now. If you become very still, and if you feel into the future, it's like there's that good time, it's just right there. Try and feel it. Okay? Don't be distracted by the craziness of the world. It's an illusion. Don't let that distract you. Feel into that your good future is just wanting to come in. It really does. So feel for that and start living it now. Okay? Just feel for it. Just go, you know what, I'm due a good transit. I'm going to feel it now. And you feel those feelings, you'll start creating it. Libra, I'm excited for you. We are now going to welcome Scorpio, Scorpio, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm just looking at the scene here because it's starting to get a bit dark. And I'm like, oh, do I have to turn my lamp on and look orange and look like I want to run America? I'm joking. I have no bias one way or another. Thankfully, this is one election where I'm just like, I couldn't vote for either of them. So yeah, I was watching, I'll just tell you a little aside here, Scorpio. I'm getting distracted. I know. I watched this guy called Eric Weinstein and I was like, oh, he's a fence sitter like me. I was like, that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy I'm not the only one. All right. Anyway, Scorpio, let's take a look what's going on. So where has Saturn been since 2020? Well, Saturn for you has been in his 3rd and 4th houses. Saturn has been restructuring your relationships with siblings, with friends, with your mother. I'm just trying to see, is it my iPad that's given me the weird lighting? Anyway, Saturn has been restructuring your relationships with siblings, friends, and mother. Yeah, this is pretty full on. See, look at me, I'm getting distracted in the middle. That's a sign. Has anyone been getting distracted, Scorpio? Any of you procrastinating? Any of you? 4th house. Yes, quite possibly. There could be some procrastination energy or distraction energy here. Interesting. I've got here Saturn would have given you opportunities when in the 3rd house. So for that, we're really looking at 2020 to 2023. That was your sensational Saturn transit. You might look back at that and go, well, I had some tough times. You might have. But look back and see what good came in. There would have been some good. There would have been some good in that time. There would have been some platform building thing or something. Might have been difficult because the world was not in a position to yield great things to everybody. I know that. But I was doing consultations that whole time. And I remember a lot of people were getting married and expanding and buying houses and all kinds of things were happening. People getting promoted. Some people had the most money they'd ever earned in that 2020 to 2023 period. So it's pretty interesting. When it's due for you, when the good stuff is due for you, you will not miss it. That's for sure. You won't miss it. Now, when Saturn goes into Pisces and leaves his own 2 houses, what are you saying goodbye to? Well, it's good, some of this. You're going to say goodbye to social or family related stress. Okay. I've got here also if you've had challenges with your home, if you've had renovations or difficult things you've had to deal with your home, any of that stress will be over too. Okay, I know what that's like. I know what it's like to have renovations hanging on your head and then you have to get this fixed and then that fixed, and yeah, it can be a real bother. But there's something about you'll be able to leave that stress behind. You've been tested enough. Now, how to make the most of this transit now, the remainder of this transit? Well, I've got here just a simple thing of become very organized. Get your home organized, get your home in order, do a deep clutter clear, and do what you can to feel on top of your stuff and on top of your admin and on top of your world. Okay, and I've got here, this will help because Saturn wants you to improve the running of your kingdom in the next transit. Saturn's going to move through the kingdom, the 5th house there. He's going to check out, all right, how do you run your whole life kind of thing? And, so you want everything to be in good order for when Saturn goes to be 5th from for you. Scorpio, I'm wishing you well. We are now going to welcome Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is Sagittarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Moon, or Sagittarius Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So where has Saturn been since 2020? He's been in his own 2 houses, and for you, that is your 2nd and 3rd houses. So Saturn has been restructuring your big long-term wealth and your savings. Saturn has also been restructuring your relationships with family and or friends or work friends, co-workers, anyone that you consider to be family. Actually, sometimes that's our co-workers. Saturn's been restructuring that. Saturn might have been testing you over the last couple of years. So since about 2023, you might have been tested, and that's the start of 2023. So you might have been tested in terms of your courage, maybe, and this has been a platform building time. Okay, so you are in an excellent transit. You are going to be one of those lucky signs that I talked about at the beginning, where I said you're going to want to make the most of the rest of this transit. So you're one of those signs. So that's over the next 4.5 months. You want to make the most of the rest of what you have. I've got written here, yeah, you are saying goodbye to an excellent Saturn transit. I've also got a note here that, yeah, financially you should be in a better position now than where you were at the start of 2023. Be really interesting to know if that's the case. But Saturn's going to move into Pisces. We're looking about March, April 2025. So how are you going to make the most of, you know, what you've got left of this excellent Saturn transit? I've got here, Saturn is about to work through your home life in the next transit, and your relationship with your mother, also your subconscious mind. I've got here, so build yourself up now in terms of energy, money, strength, and you're going to navigate the next part really well. Okay, so this is a time of collecting, bolstering, investing, making yourself really strong, building up your confidence, building up your courage. And that's going to see you through anything. I mean, the next transit is a Saturn dire period. It can be very good. It can be challenging, but I'll talk you through it in the next video I do on that. Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome Capricorn. Capricorn, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Capricorn Ascendant, Capricorn Moon, or Capricorn Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So where have you had Saturn? My goodness, you've had Saturn in a tough spot over the last 5 years. Capricorn, we've been talking about it. We've been going through it together, haven't we? I hope we've got some long-time Capricorn people here. You are some of my favorite people. You're also the toughest. You've done the best spiritual work over recent years. And this is, we are looking at, where has Saturn been? By the way, I'm not a Capricorn, in case someone wonders. I do have a lot of Saturnian energy, but it's not Capricorn. It's you guys. I'll acknowledge where the best people are. It's you. Yeah, I wish I was one of you, but I'm not. Yeah, let's have a look here. Where Saturn has been since 2020. Now I've got here, Saturn for you has been in your first and second houses. You've gone through the toughest stuff. I've got here, Saturn has been testing you as a being, as well as restructuring your finances. Now, this is the last 2 houses of Sati for Capricorn moons, okay? So my Capricorn moon people, you guys have been going through the toughest stuff. You guys, you're the champions of this zodiac. But I mean, even if you've had any other kind of Capricorn across the years 2020 to 2023, you've had it very tough. Even if you're ascendant or sun or whatever, it's been very, very difficult. And you've done very well, okay? So, and that's the thing, the biggest challenge goes to the one with the broadest shoulders, and that's you. So, I've got here, what are you saying goodbye to? Yeah, I've got written one line, everything feeling so hard. There you go, that's a good thing to say goodbye to. You got a great transit ahead. You're going to be rewarded. Life's going to feel different. But you're going to be so well honed and so strong and so in your good habits and routines and so Saturnian that it's like, you know, things will come and go and you're just going to be unflappable now. You know, you're just going to be so strong. There's a wonderful power that comes with having gone through the tough stuff. That's why everybody comes to Earth School, because it's the toughest. Everybody wants to develop the powers that you possibly now possess, okay? Now, in terms of how to make the most of the rest of the Saturn in Aquarius transit, which is going to shift March March, April next year, you're going to have a better energy. Not only are you going to have a better energy, you're going to be rewarded, life's going to be good, life's going to flow, it's going to be much better. Okay, this is the time that I've been telling everyone to hang in there for. If you've had a reading with me over the last few years, I would have been telling everyone, March, April 2025, it's going to be good. So this is that time, it's coming. But how do you make the most of the rest of where you are now? Don't write off the rest of this transit. The rest of this transit is very good. You can work with it. You can work with this time. Keep working with the taskmaster. He's making you excellent. So I've got here, become organized, especially financially. You might be feeling right now that energy is improving. Okay, you might, if you're quiet and still, you might be able to just tune in and literally feel the future ahead, and you might feel that it's quite good. So start calling it in. Start calling it in. I've got here, keep tuning into that energy. Become still and feel for it. The future is coming in now. You have a much better transit ahead. Capricorn, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Look out for my Saturn in Pisces video. I will get that out to you guys when I can. We are now going to welcome Aquarius. Aquarius, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I think I'm going to turn a light on Aquarius. It's going to be a bit weird. It's going to be a bit orange. The sun's gone down. The sun was out. Just close the blind. Well, we've got a new sun here. We've got a golden glow of a lamp. It's gold. It's not orange. It's all right. I'll keep it. Okay. Got an old-fashioned lamp. That's what I have. All right, Aquarius. What are we doing? Aquarius, where has Saturn been since 2020? Well, now for you, Saturn has been in your 12th and 1st houses. I'll just check on the time. We're okay. Saturn's been in your 12th and 1st houses. So Saturn has possibly isolated you from the world a little bit. Saturn's probably been testing you as a person. Saturn wants to know, who are you? What are you about? What do you want from life? You know, Saturn has been here in Aquarius. It's been testing you. It's been testing, and if you're Aquarius moon or Aquarius sun, it wants to know, Saturn wants to know who you are. And Saturn wants to know, okay, what are we going to create over the next 30 years? You know, what great work can we do together? So what are you saying goodbye to? Well, I think one of the things that you're going to say goodbye to as Saturn leaves his own 2 houses and steps into Pisces, you're going to be saying goodbye to the fact that it's been hard to make money. I think it's been really hard for you to make money over the last few years. And that is something that you're going to say goodbye to. Because now, when Saturn moves into Pisces, you know, hopefully Saturn's going to help you build some gains here. Okay, there might be some delays realistically in your finance area there too, but Saturn's energy is there. He will help you to make some gains. Now, how to make the most of this transit now? Okay, we've got another 4.5 months left of the current Saturn transit. How do we make the most of it? I've got here, get organized. Get organized, especially when it comes to your finances. Are you on top of your admin? Do you need to document your expenses or fill in forms for the tax office, or what are those admin boring things that you know you have to do but you keep putting it off and you don't want to do it? Get those things done before, you know, over the next 4.5 months. You have time, okay? You have time to get organized. I've got here, get yourself mentally ready to make more money and to either start building or start boosting some long-term wealth for yourself. Okay, because it might be that there's been an erosion of financial energy, especially from the years 2020 to 2023. It might have been hard to make money there because Saturn was casting 3rd aspect into your 2nd house, and when he's doing that from a place of loss, it's like there's loss energy going into that 2nd house of yours. But Saturn's going to go into that 2nd house. Saturn's hopefully going to help you start materializing savings and keeping the abundance, or you're keeping the energy. I've got here, it might not be easy going in the next Saturn transit, but Saturn can help you to materialize more abundance. Yeah, there could be delays in making money and things like that. So that those things can still happen, but I really do think it's going to be a lot better over the next, over the next 5 years at least, let's say, because Saturn will then be in Aries, and Aries is very good. That's going to be a very good transit for you. So you've got things to look forward to, Aquarius. You really do. We are now going to welcome Pisces. Pisces, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Moon, or Pisces Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So, from 2020, Saturn has been in his own 2 houses since, the start of 2020. For you, Saturn has been in your 11th and 12th houses. Wow, what a contrast. Now I've got here, Saturn would have given you some gifts from 2020 to 2023. If you cast your mind back, you might be able to see what those were. I know that the world was in a pandemic state. It was in meltdown. The world may not have been able to yield to you what was due to you. But then I say that, and then at the same time, I also know from having done lots of readings from 2020 to 2023 that a lot of people were getting the rewards and their gifts. Whatever Saturn was due to give them, they got it. So people got married, people moved, people bought properties, people got big jobs and did really well. I consulted for some amazing people who did great across those years. So that could have been, one of you. But equally, I mean, if you look back at those years, 2020 to 2023, and you're like, well, it wasn't that much, that could be connected in with the world situation. Sometimes some of these boosts and rewards and things that people get, sometimes that's connected in with a Mahadasha change. It could be connected in with a yoga operating. It could be, what else could it be to do with? A maturation year. Okay, there's lots of different things that could be happening. So I'd need to see someone's birth chart to really say, but if you look back 2020 to 2023, it should have been a good time. Now 2023 to say, for example, we're looking at March, April 2025, this is the time where Saturn might have isolated you a bit from the world. If you're a Pisces moon, then you've started your Sadhisati period. Okay, and the start of that is isolation. It's 12th from. Sometimes it's isolation. Sometimes we just don't have energy. We're just tired, or there's some health thing that flares up. But Western medicine says, "Oh, you're fine," kind of thing. It can manifest like that. Anything like this, basically, Saturn is gifting you time to start deepening, start going within more, meditating, and you're declining the world. Meditation means more than, I think I've said this in a couple of videos. This has been a bit of a tagline I've been saying a lot lately, which is meditation is more than just sitting there and, as Caroline Mace would say, sitting there and oming. Like, it's like meditation is more than that. It's actively saying no to the world. It's actively saying, do you know what? No, I don't need to go to parties and be on the scene and be out there. I'd rather be at home with my books and my warm cup of tea. That's a way of meditating. You're in a large Saturnian way, you're declining the world, right? So, maybe Mercury is being precise and closing the eyes and focusing on the chakras and the colors, and maybe that's a mercurial way of meditating. But a Saturnian way of meditating is just closing the door at the end of the day and leaving the whole world out of your place and looking after yourself. It's just saying no to the world. So do that. If you feel like doing that, you've still got time to be doing that, Pisces. You've got another 4.5 months of this transit to go, and it'll be good for you. Yeah, I've got here, enjoy the last of the solitude. But before we get to that point, let's have a look at this one. So I've got here, what are you saying goodbye to? Yeah, so when Saturn moves into Pisces. What are you saying goodbye to? I've got here, you're going to say goodbye to feeling like you're on the sidelines. Maybe you feel like you've been on the sidelines, or that you've been forgotten, or that you're not really participating in the world anymore, or, you know, is this it? Like that feeling of, yeah, is this it? Is this all that life is? You might be saying goodbye to that, okay? And I've got here how to make the most of the rest of this transit now. We've got 4.5 months of this transit to go. So I've got here, enjoy the last of the solitude. You are going to be more in demand in the next transit. If you're a Pisces moon, you are going to be more in demand by the world, but you're also going to encounter some challenges quite possibly. I don't know what the challenges are, but what I do know is that work is going to become your solace. Okay, so love your work. Really get to loving your work. Love the tasks. Love the fact that it focuses you. Love the, I don't know, like sometimes there's soothing in repetition. Sometimes there's soothing in just being focused. Sometimes, yeah, amazingly, they can be soothing in the stability, or the boring nature of our work can become like solace, you know. And that's what, when I've worked with, definitely when I was working with a lot of the Capricorn moons, when they were going through their sadhisati, and when I'm on the live Zoom with them and I'm chatting with them about, okay, how, you know, how it works. And oh my goodness, so many of the Capricorn moons, they reported that they found a lot of solace in their work. Because their whole world was melting down, kind of thing. Now, I'm not predicting that your world is going to melt down, Pisces moon. I'm not saying that. But you may have a challenge or two to deal with. And I don't know exactly what those are. That's the thing. We know there could be stuff, you know, because the timetable is suggesting there's a container for that. But yeah, sometimes we can't figure out what the thing is, because if it's expected, then that takes the edge off, kind of thing, like as per the divine design, if you know what I mean. Sometimes they want you to be surprised. That's part of the training, that's part of the testing, or whatever it is the divine is doing, or whatever this divine setup is, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I've got here for Pisces moon, be disciplined and get ready to face some challenges. As I say, I don't know what those are. Got here, yeah, you may not know what those challenges are, but if you remain on the spiritual path, you will meet those challenges with courage and you will ascend. You absolutely will. If you're on the spiritual path, you are always protected. You are always looked after. You know, the divine is always here. It's always here now. See, and so in order to access the divine, all we have to do is get out of our head and get out of and here, astrology, right? We're in our head. We're looking at concepts. We're looking at past. We're looking at future. You've got to get out of that. Get into your heart space. Get into the now. And just feel like, okay, everything's all right. And I am protected. And I am fine. And whatever is that power that beats my heart and that makes the rain fall and that makes the plants grow, that thing is always looked after me. And that thing will always look after me. And you just have to remember that. Any Pisces who's here and anyone who has watched the whole video, thank you so much for being here, guys. I love doing these videos. This work is my solace. And I hope you have a good rest of the transit. 4.5 months. You know, it's a lot of time. You can still do a lot with this. And look, I love it. I've come to love a 12 from transit, which is where you are. Come to love those now, you know, being off the playing field. And well, I feel like my whole life is like that. Currently it kind of is, because you know, I've thought about it. My Saturn is lording my 12th for my whole Mahadasha, so I'm probably going to be off the playing field of life for another, I don't know, like 15 years or so. I don't know. That's fine by me. Yeah, it's actually the better place to be. Something I'm discovering. Guys, I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.